Hey guys, we're checking out Androgynous hotties. It's on Reddit, but it's not really Reddit content, just a list of pictures. And let's see if I can correctly identify them all, or at least how they registered for me. Also, I won't be checking out, I'll be rating every single one. So let's get started. So, first one, woman. Woman. Apparently that's a guy though, so, okay. Wow, really? So, yeah. It can be either, but looks better as a woman. Woman? Woman again? More women? This could be... Still, comes up as a woman. Woman again? Okay, the facial hair is gonna be like a bit of a telling point here, so I guess guy. I'm being called his girlfriend and his sister. I'm his boyfriend, so it just looks like a woman to me. That's a tough one though. Kind of looks a little bit masculine face, but masculine girl after all. I could be just a fit girl, so I'm gonna go with woman here. Woman again, woman again, woman again. Guy? Huh, just a strong girl, right? It's kind of a tough one. Still kind of comes up as a woman to me. Another woman, another woman, another woman. That's a guy, right? That's another woman again. Okay, that's just a strong girl. So that could be a little confusing, I suppose. Okay, this one is too strong. So I'm gonna go with guy here. That's a tough one. I guess the divided jaw is can be a bit misleading. It could be either though. You can definitely see women like that. So in Asia, you might see narrower jaws a little bit, or at least it might be more popular when it comes to media. But in the West, at least, you can have a wider jaw. Although this kind of... My bet would be like 25% like a teenage guy, or like 75% a woman. So, woman again, woman again, woman. Woman? Woman again. That's a guy. So, yeah. Interesting look. Comes up woman again. Guy? Yeah. Interesting getup though. So again, comes up as a guy. Yeah, if you see both. He's not bad though. He's not bad. And he definitely looks better as a guy, so but yeah, guy. Woman? Yeah, if you see both, then I guess you might be primed. Yeah. Yeah. So comes up as a guy. Woman. That's... Yeah, the second is a little bit closer to a feminine look, but it just kind of like comes up as a book nerd guy. It kind of comes off as a guy too. Although, I mean, the less I get to see, the less correctly I can guess. Wow, this guy works out. Looks like a woman. Okay. This is a tricky one. I'm gonna go with this is a tricky one. It kind of looks like a guy, but it could be really either. So, I mean, this would not be that confusing if I had more to work with. Looks like a woman. It looks like a guy. Woman again. Woman again. That's a guy. That's a woman. Although, I guess I was tricked because we see no boobs at all. Dang it. Okay, that looks like a woman, although, yeah, these enhancements are kind of causing some confusion. That looks like a guy. Kind of looks like a woman, although these can be tricky to tell. Kind of looks like maybe like a Swedish guy or something. It is close. So, yeah, that's a guy. That's a woman. That's a kind of guy. Although, I think you can take a picture of this person and make them look like a woman. Okay, that looks like a woman, I guess. Okay, we got another woman here. That's gonna be the guy. So, what the heck? So, woman, another woman, another woman. Okay, this is close, but this kind of looks like a guy in a wig and a pink dress. Okay, a woman that really works out. It could be either. This is kind of like overdoing it. Big goat girlfriend vibes. Yeah. This could be either though. I don't know. I think I'm like leaning toward woman here. Just first impression. Just a strong woman. Okay, that's a woman again. That's a guy. Although if I get to see more, like we see that this guy is kind of like built like a tank, right? So that's a guy. Although we don't see the face, and this looks like a woman. And we don't know. This could be like a teenage boy or a woman. Dang it. So I'm leaning toward a teenage boy. Yeah, guy. What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? I would just go with like guy, just based on either a woman that just loves steroids, or it's just gonna be a guy. Those arms are just ridiculous. What the heck is this? But the face kind of looks very, very woman-like. But it kind of seems like two different people kind of put together. That looks like a woman. Okay. Definitely looks better as a guy. Yeah, it's a bit too heavy on the makeup. If he... If he had better makeup skills, I think he could nail it. Looks like a woman. It's kind of hard to tell, because the makeup looks off, right? So that kind of makes me suspect that it's a guy, right? Or just a woman that's bad at makeup. He can definitely pull off the women look if they get better at makeup. But I don't know. Well, I guess even all things considered, it kind of comes up as a woman. It looks like a guy, a woman, another woman, another woman, another woman, a guy, a woman, another woman, another woman. Okay. Well, this guy is good at both. Girlish boy daddy in 2 years. That's one hell of a journey. Okay, this looks like a guy. A woman. Yeah, if you have facial hair, I guess that's gonna be very telling. So, guy. Can we see something without facial hair? Whatever. So, that looks like a woman. That looks like a woman too. Another woman. That's just the guy. Woman. I kind of wonder if, what is my chance of getting trapped here. That looks like a guy. I can't really explain why, but it does look like it. Well, if he had boobs, I guess that would be supporting the cause here. Maybe if he was better at... I think he can pull it off, but he needs to work on it. I don't know, man. This is pretty hard. I'm leaning toward teenage boy. I can't tell. It kind of, from what I'm seeing, it looks like a woman. Probably looks like a teenage boy that gets bullied every single day. Looks like a woman, another woman, another woman, another woman, another woman. It's a guy. The jaw is pretty wide. Okay. I'm leaning toward guy. If we saw more, maybe I could guess better. Looks like a woman, another woman, another woman. Damn, man. Okay, this is a tough one. So basically, teenage boys are potential women. That's kind of what we are learning. It could be either. I'm kind of leaning toward women here. Okay, so what we have here. I mean, either works. It looks a little bit more convincing as a guy. So yeah, I'm gonna go with guy here. Yeah, it's a guy again. Woman. Another woman. Looks like a woman. This is ridiculously... hot. So anyway, yeah. What the fuck? So yeah, this one looks like a woman. Like I don't even need to say it, but like, so apparently all teenage boys are like women. Apparently, there's no way. There's no way it's the same person. That's what you call duality. Yeah, this looks like someone who's like making millions of OnlyFans, and this just looks like some guy who's just beating you in Counter Strike. Damn, man. He definitely looks better as a woman. I'm just assuming that it's a he. I mean, that's almost certainly it's gotta be the case here. That's another woman. Why are you just holding a corn like a baby? I don't understand that. Still looks like a woman. Looks like a guy. Oh, it's a tough one. I actually saw this picture before. It's a fanboy. So, but it could be both. If he had bigger boobs, I guess he would be selling it more. But it is dang close, right? It's still like based on how he's presenting. I'm always tempted to just go with women here. Okay, looks like a woman. It looks like a guy. A woman. Right. Kind of looks better as a woman though. I'm not sure about their original gender, but looks pretty good as a woman. Okay, looks like another woman. Another woman. Looks like a woman. Another woman. Another woman. Another woman. Another woman. Another woman. Okay. Woman again. Woman again. Looks like a teenage boy. So, a woman again. Looks like a guy. Yeah. I mean, this is a picture that I saw before, so that's kind of influencing me. So, yeah. Looks like a fanboy, I guess. But, like, it's very close to a woman. Another woman. Actually, the additional pictures made me lean much more toward women. It's hard to say. It kind of looks like a teenage boy. It's a guy. What is this? A deer? I don't know. Okay. Kind of looks like a woman though. That's a guy. That's a guy again. Guy again. This is. Well, we saw a picture from this person before, so this is a guy. Guy again. I kind of wish we had a better picture to work with, but let's go with guy. It's gotta be a guy again. Woman. Oh. Huh? This looks like a guy. Woman again. Woman. Looks like a guy. Looks like a guy. It's a woman. Woman again. Yeah, this is not really making it easy, but kind of looks like a woman for sure. Looks like a guy. A guy again. Guy again. Huh. Looks like a woman with questionable fashion choices. Looks like a woman. Another woman. Another woman. Another woman. Actually, this picture kind of registers more women for me. So, even though that I know that this is a guy, this kind of just registers women for me. Okay, this looks like women for sure. But I guess they can go either way. All right. So, looks like a woman for sure. Another woman. Looks like a tomboy woman. Okay, this is a guy. I'm not sure why I get that vibe, but yeah, I'm getting that. Another woman. This is a guy. It's a woman. Another woman. Although I suspect that is not the case. But that is still the impression I'm getting. So I guess if we see the chest, then it's more telling that this is a guy, a woman, guy. Yeah. I think I'm gonna go with guy here, but damn. With makeup, they can definitely change that rating. Okay, that's a guy. We don't see much, so I'm gonna go with woman here, maybe. Although the flat chest could be telling. Woman? I'm not sure if I should just going with like, if they have boobs, then they are a woman. Kind of logic. I don't know, man. I would prefer a more standard look. That would make it easier to tell. Okay, looks like a woman, sure. I think, yeah, Snow Boy, right. But this picture makes them look like a woman. Right. That's a woman too. That's a woman too. You're kind of gives me guy vibes a little bit, but presenting very femininely. Although it's definitely extravagant. What's a guy? Emo guy? I don't know. Okay, I guess woman? Guy? Guy, woman, woman. Fanboy, I guess. I guess we gotta go with boobs here. That is the last resort we have. If they had boobs, I guess I might get trapped harder. Right. Looks like a woman for sure. Looks like a soft guy who likes books. I like books too, but I don't look this soft. Okay, woman. That's another woman. A woman with peculiar look. That's a guy. That's a guy again. Yeah, I was more tempted to go with women here, but we see a very flat chest, so maybe guy? I think I'm gonna go with guy here. It looks like a woman, another woman, another woman. A guy? Okay. This is a brave look. Right, for sure. So we can see that they're trans, I suppose. And I mean, the face kind of looks feminine, right? But it kind of comes more together. It's like somewhat masculine, or like a soft boy. Still, the face kind of looks feminine. So, is I'm gonna go with guy here. Oh man, woman, boys and their fishnets. God damn it! That's a guy. That's a woman. If no one told you today, you're so worth it and deserve happiness. I don't know. I guess you did. Woman. That's a guy. That's a guy again. Guy again. Huh? Kind of womanly face? Right. 3 weeks on tea? Right. You definitely, well, I mean, they definitely have the attitude already, so. It looks like some guy who's gonna pick a fight with you in the bar. Alright. A woman? A guy? Damn. A woman. Well, I guess they can be both. Right? Was told to be a man. Instructions unclear. Right. Yeah, this guy definitely never heard of the instructions before. I mean, he looks both as either, so good job. A woman, maybe? It could be a bit hard to tell based on one picture. So I guess my radar might be a lot better if I had more information to work with. Woman. Woman again. A woman again. A woman again. Dang it. I wonder how many times I'm getting trapped. It's gotta be pretty high, right? Else people would not be posting here. Okay. I mean, if we are just working with these things, then I guess he looks better as a woman. 6 years before and after. Androgyny is just... It's not really androgyny at that point, right? But it does look good. I mean, she does look good. Okay, looks like a woman. Woman again. Damn, man. I mean, at this point, I was like, I'm just checking if they have boobs. the boobs test. Okay. Yeah, we don't see that much. I'm gonna go with guy here. But this is not good, right? Just fucking own it, right? Looks like a woman. No, not less so. I guess these posters want the audience to give the preferred answer, right? And that is why they might be posting pictures that are deliberately misleading a little bit. Well, that is almost certainly the case. Well, it just looks like a guy who put on a dress. All right. That's a woman. I suspect not. Okay. Definitely feels like, yeah, this is the famous fanboy. But definitely feels like a woman here. Dang it. So this is not even remotely registering guy for me here. So that's a woman, although I don't like piercings and all these accessories. That's a guy. That's a strong woman. This kind of feels like a guy here. It's kind of hard to say because this might not be my type in the first place. So, I mean, the boobs are kind of misleading here. Is that a woman? I don't know, but they are buff for sure. That's a woman. All right, I guess. They're going for a guy. Right? This looks like a guy in a dress. They're pretty buff too. And at this point, they probably register as a woman, although it is a little bit colored by the previous picture in my case, but they definitely come off as a woman to me. Alright, let's check out some recent ones too, because we ran out of all-time best. This one definitely looks like a woman, although we might repeat. This kind of, yeah, this is misleading. Kind of looks like a, yeah, still kind of looks like a guy in a, well, guy looking good in like female clothes, kind of, no, I think. Well, the cargo pants is probably more like guy thing, but like, we can see no boobs, so probably not woman. This is my last hope. Okay, that's definitely a woman. Looks like a woman too. Altruistic. Okay. Alright. I always get told I'm a carbon copy of my dad, right side, and uncle. Yeah, it just looks like a woman. What the fuck? Huh? Carbon copy? Definitely not. Looks like a woman. Okay, we already saw this one. A guy. Huh? Some vampire woman? Androgyny, my beloved. Oh, no boobs. So, hard to say. So, probably guy if no boobs. If they don't have humongous boobs, then they're probably a guy, right? That's the logic we're gonna go with. But it does look like a woman. Looks like a woman too. If only all boys could dress like this. Although, I mean, I suppose almost everyone can take a picture of themselves. I can't. But many guys might be able to take pictures of themselves kind of looking like women. So, what we have here? A woman? Now, this looks like a guy here. Yeah, definitely guy. No boobs. That's it. I don't know. Let's look at the boobs here. No boobs. Although, definitely looks like a woman. Okay. Kind of looks guyish. Although it's close. And looks like a woman. Looks let's get a second opinion. I'm still kind of leaning toward woman. Guy? That's a woman? I think. Damn. I have a feeling that I'm not doing that great. No boobs. So we can tell that this is not a woman. That is my unmistakable strategy right now. Okay, looks like a guy. A guy? Okay, a guy again. No boobs. That's how we know. Yeah, he's pretty strong. Although, the face, if they tried, if they were more careful with their clothes, and they also exercise more makeup, I think they could do it. I emit ionizing radiation? I don't know. Looks like a woman. Androgyny is a slip in a slip dress. Right. Looks like a guy. Looks like an emo guy. Looks like a woman. Okay, a guy. A woman? Guy. Okay. Some guy who's going to a metal concern. Okay, the guy for sure, right? I mean, the first one was misleading, but like, this is just some guy who's going to a heavy metal concert. Like, also, no woman would have a fucking sword. Yeah? So, when in doubt, just look at this. Sword. No woman's gonna buy a sword. It is close, but maybe we can tell by the boobs, right? No boobs means a guy, right? That's what we're gonna go with. If they were in dress, I guess we could. Yeah, if we just saw this, I would say woman. So there you go. This looks like woman. Although, even though we don't see much of any boobs. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. I mean, for me, this just registers as woman. So, whatever. Another woman, that's a guy. But again, just gut feeling. Although, this is a second one is a clearer picture. It just looks like a guy in a dress and possibly a wig. Alright, this is misleading. I'm not sure if I can. Looks like a guy. A woman? A guy? Guy again. Guy? Again, we're just using the strategy of no boobs means guy. This is a guy for sure. Yeah. This is just gonna be misleading. So as a guy again. A woman? That's a woman? Let's see if yeah. Totally looks like a woman. Just looks like a guy with questionable choice of hair. Again, guy for sure. That's a guy? But they have boobs, so it's hard to say. I don't want to say like ugly, but like, I mean, on second look, looks like a woman. That's a woman again. Hide your mothers. Right? Kind of looks like a woman again. Growing my hair out is going good. So, presumably it's a he. He is pretty thin. Totally looks like a woman. A guy? Right. It's a woman. It's hard to say. It looks like a guy. Right. And another woman. Subtle, natural makeup. Look for day to day. But, I can't tell. I mean, this could be like a teenage guy. Or a woman. I would need to see the boobs. Let's keep going. That's a guy. That's a woman? Is that a guy? Okay. Now, it still registers as a woman for me. They really suck at makeup. No? Queen of Peace. Right. Kind of feels like a guy to me. Definitely a guy. Right. Their makeup is unique. A guy? This is so weird because I especially like to just analyze things rationally. But here I'm just looking at faces and then trying to use my instinct to guess whether they're a woman or a man. And presumably, my inbuilt detector is not identical to the one others have. But presumably, it's gotta be close. Anyway, a guy? Woman? That's a woman again? Okay, but if I look at the face looks woman, but the chest doesn't look like a woman's chest. That is I just don't like this. That looks like a guy for sure. Okay. That looks like a woman? Kind of looks like a woman. Looks like a guy. Yeah. I'm a JoJo's fan. How could you tell? I don't know. I can't tell. I've heard of JoJo. Right. I can't tell. I think the face could pass. Possibly. But no boobs are possibly a telling point here. This is perhaps their most misleading picture. Still, I'm gonna go with like teenage boy here. Okay, but that's a woman, right? Is that androgynous? That's a woman again. Oh, yeah. They posted from fanboy, but it looks like a woman. Dang. Now I do wonder that those people that, let's say that someone went on the fanboy subreddit, are those people who are like would be able to tell that they are all guys? That's a good question. Because sure, I kind of see that they're not really packing some boobs, but their face looks very womanly. Okay, that looks like a guy. Another guy. Okay, we don't see the face, so it's hard to say. It looks like a woman. Not a woman. It's gotta be a hard one, though. Outfit to confuse the locals? Yeah, it is confusing. Yeah, it is close. If the shape was more hourglass, it kind of looks like a guy. I'm leaning toward a guy, but it definitely looks confusing. So that's a guy again. But what is this though? I don't see anything. But it looks like a woman, right? Looks like a woman. It's a guy. That's a guy. Looks like a guy. That looks like a woman, but it is the same one as the one we touched on before. In fact, let's just check out some fanboys as a bonus. Although, at this point, I guess I have no point guessing. So again, we see no boobs, but I mean, if we're just not considering that, then they definitely look like a woman, right? If they just used a different dress, you wouldn't be able to tell. Okay, this gotta be tricky. I think they can easily pass as a woman. Okay. I mean, the main concerning factor is that they are so strong, right? that is why you can't tell that they are probably a guy, or otherwise you can't tell. Okay, this looks like a guy for me, so yeah, can't pass for me. This looks like 100% a woman, Well, again, I guess we don't see boobs. Otherwise, it's, yeah, just look at the face. I don't think you can tell. Yeah, this just looks like a woman to me. Even the full body shot. It's tricky one because if you just look at the arm, I guess that could be telling. But otherwise, yeah, otherwise I don't think you can really tell. Okay. That just looks like a woman. Nightclub fit. Yeah, I think this would just pass completely. Yeah, they just look strong. Strong with no boobs. Okay, this one just looks 100% like a woman. There's just no way to tell. Okay, I guess they're really overdoing the accessories here, but I'm not sure this is fair to guess this one. But of course, from what I'm seeing, it looks like a woman. With a similar look. In this case, they kind of look more like a guy. I guess it could be either way, right? But it kind of like gives androgynous vibes. They like Lane. What's pretty good. Right. They can definitely pass as a woman for sure. Okay. Became a girl and all I got were these stupid socks. Yeah. Definitely looks like a girl from what we are seeing. Yeah. I guess I'm not gonna guess on this. Kind of looks like a guy from the body we're seeing. So this kind of looks like a teenage boy again. Okay, looks like a woman though. I mean, yeah. Right, this is not a great picture. Looks like a woman. Another woman. Another woman. Looks like a soft guy. Yeah, this 100% looks like a woman. This would give me zero pause. I finally bought a dress in person. Yeah. Well, some of these might give you like, okay, maybe. I would argue that most of these not. But this one, 0%. 0%. Okay. Right? I mean, if they had a bustier chest, then it would sell the story a little bit better, but even so, they kind of come off as a woman. Right? 100% comes off as a woman. Again. Yeah, I don't know about the black lips though. That's just concerning in the first place. This is what you might see from a corpse. But I suppose if you made me, then I would say it's a woman with a questionable fashion taste. Right? I don't know. So this kind of leaning woman here, but with some possible concerns in areas. This kind of looks like a guy, right? Kind of looks like a woman. Although, if I just went to the logic that no big boobs equals man, then this endeavor would be easier. But I don't see it. So, I don't really see it. So, I'm not gonna guess this one. Yeah, even despite not having a busty chest, they definitely look like a woman. Right. Still looks like a woman. Looks like a woman, even though this is the same person. So it kind of depends on the picture. It's hard to say. Definitely leans toward women, but like with some concerns. Same point. Okay. Just a boy wearing pink. Right. I mean, if you just look at it but just the first impression would be that it is a woman, but on a second look, it's like, this is probably a guy, right? So I can tell that. Right. Let's go on. So they have a sword. This is quite telling. If they have a sword, then they are 100% a guy. No question about it. And honestly, they look like a woman. With the only telling part is that they're also pretty damn strong. So you would possibly not see such strong arms from most women, although they certainly can have it. But yeah, we just don't see it. Right. This is not enough information. Not enough information. That's the same person. Right? I think it's the same person. Right. They suck at makeup. So this looks like a guy. But they can possibly go and trick you. Same person. Same person. New person. I don't know. If you just saw their face, I think the likely conclusion would be that they are women. But if you see their body, even the bottom half of their body, your conclusion would be, most likely, my conclusion would be that they are women. But if you see their chest, then it is giving a more of a mixed signal. Also, their arms are a little beefy. So, again, same person. Tall looks like a woman, although the picture is not that clear. Same person? Again, it's a bit of a misleading picture. It kind of looks like a guy. A little bit. But they definitely have excellent fashion sense. But this is just hard. Like, they're covering their face with their phone. Oh. Well, oh well. Okay. It just looks like a woman. Just a boy wearing black. Right. But by covering them entirely in black, and also halfway covering their face, doesn't leave me a lot to work with. Totally looks like a woman. Can't wait to wear this tomorrow. Right. Well, you're wearing it today. Isn't that good enough? Right. Same person, same person. Looks like a woman, even though they have no boobs. Damn, man. Looks like a woman. What is this? Looks like a guy. Although, you gotta keep in mind that also this kind of getup would remind you of guys in the first place. Looks like a woman. Oh, looks like a woman. I've already run out of ideas for titles. Well, you don't need it. Tall looks like a woman. Tall looks like a woman. Same person. Tall looks like a woman. Okay, well, I guess this getup kind of makes you look like a woman for sure. Same person. So they like pictures a lot. This looks like a guy. Another guy. Yeah, I don't know, man. A welder mask. What is this, like, ultimate challenge? But I certainly would assume that a woman is wearing that. Looks like a guy. Looks like a woman. Same person. Totally looks like a woman. Yeah. They post a lot of pictures. Looks like a woman. I think that we already covered them. The main concern would be just no chest, right? They don't have beefy arms. So if you just looked at this, you would assume woman, right? And even if you looked at this, if they had like a little bit bigger boobs, I think there would be like zero concern that they are a woman. Right? My first film outfit at 18. We don't see much though. Okay, 100% looks like a woman. Definitely registers as a woman. So apparently this guy is a little bit gay. Nah, it's fine. If you dress like a woman and others don't like it that you dress like a woman, then it's straight. That is my policy. Let's see what we have. Well, it's hard to say, but looks like a woman, sure. Same person. Yeah, it's interesting. Well, they're kind of covering themselves up. Sylvian to go with the Umbrian, I don't know. But they definitely look like a woman. Although, if they have bigger boobs, I don't think you would even question it.
And in this case, they don't have like big beefy arms. Looks like a guy. Yeah, we just don't see it. What is this? Okay. That one looks like a woman, although they it kind of seems like they took their shirt. Through a fanboy themed party to celebrate 3 years of hormones. This was my outfit. That one looks like a woman. So I kind of wonder how many of these fanboys are on hormones, because I suppose that might make it harder for me to guess correctly. It's been 4.5 years since I started HRT. I feel more like myself than ever before. Right. I mean, they definitely come up as a woman. But if they had bigger boobs, then it would be even more convincing. Right? Same person? This kind of gives me... No. I'm not gay. Let me clarify that. Merely, I'm straight as an arrow, and anything I like is a woman. Still, they kind of look a little bit off. Somehow? I'm not sure. Let's just keep rating. Okay, Toad looks like a woman. Toad looks like a woman. Same person. We don't see much. What is this? Okay, same person. We don't see much. Maybe the pictures are getting a little bit worse here. Yeah, again, the same person. Why would you take a picture over here? We don't see much. Yeah, that's the same person again. Or they called them a woman. Okay. They definitely come off as a woman again. This is tricky because, or I rated this person, first of all. Second of all, they could either totally register as a woman, or they kind of come off as as some kind of a late teenage boy. And if they had a bigger chest, it almost certainly would be impossible to tell. Right? Maybe guy? That's 100% look like a woman. Becoming her, one day at a time. No, I think you already nailed it. Right? 100% looks like a woman. Although, if we just look at the chest, then you might be like, is that really the case? But if you just look at the face, like, there's just zero hesitation. Right? Again, piercings. Definitely looks like a woman, though. We don't see much. Don't let boys get too bored. Right. Is that how it works? They definitely give slight guy vibes. Because they kind of have, like, beefier arms. But, I mean, overall, they kind of still land in the woman camp. Right? We don't see much here, so... 100% looks like a woman. 100%. Right. Kind of looks like a guy. But, certainly not their clothing choices. Right? Definitely looks like a woman. But the clothing choice... This is interesting that, technically... Clothing is not gendered, right? But by wearing clothes that are typically worn by women, you also make yourself come off as women more likely, even though there's zero reason for it, because they're just arbitrary clothing items. And not like wearing a skirt makes you a woman, so it's interesting. How the heck does that work? Because I might associate these kind of clothing items with women, then I don't get it. Because it really should have zero effect, because skirts are not necessarily worn by women, because you might have the Scots wearing skirts too. And some might prefer to wear such clothing items, but I'm just pointing out that just because it is commonly tend to be worn by those who they want to emulate, in this case, they can come off more women-like by these arbitrary choices, even though it doesn't make that much sense. I'll become the president someday. Well, I hope you do. And again, completely comes off as a woman. Yeah, this is pretty well hidden, but from what we are seeing, it looks like a woman. Right? Big gamer. Like, we just don't see enough. We are rated. No, it looks like a guy, right? Also, the arm looks kind of beefier. So it looks like a woman. Yeah, looks like, yeah. Just based on the chest itself, right? If they have some boobs, then they ultimately come off more women-like. If they didn't have boobs, then it would be more of a so-so. So it's not just a clothing item. So having boobs would be more telling than having a skirt and having this fancy shirt. But if they just wore regular clothes, then it would be trickier to sell the same image, even though the clothing items are completely arbitrary. But they are merely gaining femininity by wearing clothing items that is kind of associated with it. Now, in this case, this is a little bit less so, because they're just wearing a regular hoodie, although their shirt is kind of women-like. And so is their choker, I guess. But they 100% come off as a woman, even though that they don't have boobs, I suppose. Right. Finally, I can use my real hair. That's their real hair. Again, they 100% look like a woman. Right? They kind of have a bigger jaw. This is not a great picture, so let's skip. This just looks like a teenage boy. But this one definitely comes off as a woman, but like with possibly some concerns. Right? Comes off as a woman. We don't see enough. Comes off as a woman. Girl mode on, soft smile, messy hair, and a little bit of courage. You don't need courage. They 100% come off as a woman. Same. We don't see enough. Right? Now, this kind of comes off as a guy trying out their summer dress. Yeah, this comes off as a guy too. So this is a kind of important factor why having some boobs could kind of sell the story. But this looks like a skinny guy in the dress. But this one does not. So gay. Yeah, this kind of looks like a woman for sure. Comes off as a woman too. Kind of giving a bit of a guy vibes. Yeah. Definitely giving yeah. 100% would look like a woman. If you met them real life. And in fact they look like a woman right now. I guess the lesson here would be that if you want to make sure that you are not getting trapped by fanboys, you want to look for women who have like massive boobs. Although that is a strategy for sure, but it might not be 100% one, because getting up the courage to share these again here, because I really want to try dressing up again soon and could use some positive vibes. Yeah, can you tell that this is a woman? I mean, a guy? Because they 100% look like a woman. Right. There's zero way to tell. Maybe their arms are a little beefy, but then you might just say that, yeah, this is a woman that does push-ups sometimes, and that's it. So unless you're willing to make the claim that any woman who does push-ups ever is a guy, it's gonna be hard. And this one, even despite their smaller chest, 100% looks like a woman. Kind of gives me guyish vibes. 100% like looks like a woman. Also looks like a woman. Like, look, now this kind of gives me some guy vibes. This is two. Maybe. Yeah. Definitely comes up more as a woman than a guy. Although, in my case, the black lipstick is something that would give me concern in the first place. I don't know why. Okay, we don't see much. So this 100% just looks like a woman. Good morning, Vietnam. Is that the... Yeah, they're just wearing a shirt. So this is pretty basic, although they are wearing stockings. But otherwise, they're just wearing a shirt. and they 100% look like a woman. Oh, but we can tell that not everyone is pulling this off. So this guy, well, just body-wise, you might argue that they're kind of pulling it off, but the face-wise, maybe they need some improvements to sell the story that they want to sell. This dress is so cute. Yeah. They look like a woman, just body-wise. Take a break from gaming to be a goat girl. Is that really how it works? But they're definitely selling the story with maybe like some concerns. Like they kind of have beefy arms, but otherwise it's hard to tell. 100% looks like a woman. We don't see much. It looks like a guy. This is a guy. Looks like a woman to me. How would you be able to tell this? It just looks like an athletic woman. I can't tell. Happy Monday, loves. Hope everyone has an amazing week. I can't tell. There's literally zero way to tell. So, all right. Order rated them. I mean, the only way to tell would be the size of their boobs, which is not that impressive here. But yeah. Although, I mean, this could possibly can go either way if you want to be, more skeptical. But they definitely come off more as a woman. But this kind of comes as a guy, right? Looks like a teenage boy. Right? We don't see much. Rated. Comes off as a woman too. Okay, based on what we're seeing. Okay, this is like leans toward women, but like with some concerns. I'm coming to realize that perhaps my radar is too permissive. But this one comes off as a guy who's dressing up. So this one looks like a woman. Woman again. What the fuck? Average Polish nationalist? I don't know, man. Looks like a guy, right? Based on what we're saying, looks like a woman, but like anyone can, well, a lot of people can do this, right? Looks like a woman, just a soft trans girl feeling cute and loving her journey, right? Okay, well, let's just see some faces. Looks like a woman, 100%. Be off, I don't know what that is. Same thing, woman. Let's not rate people who we already rated. Looks like a guy. So, seemingly, the lower we scroll, the more they might not be pulling it off. Although we can't make the claim because I just scrolled down right now and like, this kind of looks like a woman again. And we can see that they have some boobs too. What the fuck? That's a good cosplay too. And 100% look like a woman. So, there you go. Guys, I remembered Reddit exists. Honestly, you should have stayed away. This is not against you. This is against Reddit, 100%. Anyway, guys, that's it. Did you catch them all? Is your rated better than mine? Well, I guess you can leave it in the comments if you disagree with any of my decisions that I 100% stand by. And I gotta say that fanboys are making it look too easy. Just by having some women clothes and some makeup, you can make yourself look like a very attractive woman. Which works for me just fine. I say our next president should be either AI or a fanboy. You got my vote.